Hello, this is Samantha from Lily Miko Designs. Thank you for joining me. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how I design a kit. This week we will be designing a kit called Tiana, which is a Princess and the Frog inspired kit. So to start out, I'm going to open an old kit that's already been designed. And now I'm going to start the actual designing process. So the first step is to remove all of the clip art that is layered on top of the full boxes that would be specific just to the Jungle Cruise, so delete those. I'm going to send my fashion girls to the back of the page, and then I'm going to clear out all the background Jungle Cruise scenes and change that to a pale yellow, just so it's easier for me to see what needs to be changed in the future. I'm going to work on updating the fashion girls. Since this is a Tiana kit, I wanted to use both full box fashion girls and use the fashion girl that looks like Tiana. I'm going to start working on my full boxes. So the first step would be to open up all of the clip art that I intend to use on the first full box. As you can see, I'm planning to use an outfit flat lay, so I'm going to open up all the pieces of that full box. I copy and paste all of the clip art into the active page. I'm resizing the clip art so that everything is in proportion to each other. And now I'm starting to layer the pieces of the outfit together within the full box itself. I'm going to open up the clip art that I intend to use on my second flat lay. I'm going to use the cell phone, the Frogger switch, the beignets, and the coffee. Again, resize everything so it's in proportion, and then start layering the clip art on top of each other. I've decided for space sake that I can't include the coffee mug, so I'm going to just use the cell phone, the switch, and the beignets. Again, I'm opening the clip art that I intend to use on the next full box. For my full box in the lower left-hand corner, I'm going to use this clip art. It looks like a hand holding a Starbucks cup. It says Tiana on it. My plan is to layer that piece of art over a castle. Now, there was no castle included in this specific clip art set, so what I'm doing is going through my library of previous Coffee Doodles artwork to see if there's something that I can use in the background. I come across this castle scene from the Not So Scary kit, and I go ahead and use that, but as you'll see, I later switch that out. I'm going back through and changing all of my solid yellow color backgrounds to the backgrounds of the illustration scene. I'm going back and changing the background of that lower left-hand full box from the green castle to a castle with fireworks. This specific scene is from the Disney Bang clip art set. I'm closing all of my clip art tabs to just tidy things up a bit. I'm opening the second page of my kit, again using Jungle Cruise as my template. I'm playing around with a couple different full box options. My original plan, I decided to scrap it. I didn't like how it was coming together, and now I'm going with a stacked scene with pancakes in the background and a jar of loose change. I need a background that these objects are sitting on, so I'm going to copy it from page 1 and add it to the full box on page 2. Now I'm going to change the wood pattern that is being used, so I'm going into my library of wood patterns. I wanted to use something that was along the grayscale, so I'm trying out 3 different patterns to see what looks the best. I decide on this specific one, and then I'm going to go in, change from the dark brown colored wood to this grayscale wood. Because the full box on the second page has a lot of the clip art items hanging over the boundary of the full box, I'm going to take a screenshot of the full box only, and then I'm going to import that image into my library and then overwrite the clip art with the image pattern. I'm going to update the colors in the kit to match the Tiana clip art by opening up some digital papers, and then I'm going to use the eyedropper to pick out these colors. I played around a little bit with my 4th color, the darker green, and I eventually decided on going with a somewhat bright version of the shade of green. Now that all of my colors are updated, I'm going to open up Photoshop and start to create the glitter digital papers using these selected colors. While I wait for Photoshop to open, I'm going to start working on updating the format for my micro kit. Again, starting with Jungle Cruise as the template. Now that Photoshop is open, I'm going to go ahead and start making those patterns using the color code and importing that into Photoshop. Now I'm going to add these newly created digital glitter papers into my silhouette library. Now I'm updating the glitter pattern to match the coordinating color. I'm updating the pattern in the background of the 1/2 and 1/3 boxes to match the colors that I selected. Now updating the pattern that is used for the bottom washi and the date covers. I wanted to do a mirrored ombre effect, so I had to spend a little bit of time playing around with this. updating the font outline color on the date covers. Again, updating the glitter pattern to match the colors in the Tiana kit. Now I'm taking screen capture images of the full boxes that I want to use in my micro kit. Once I have this completed, I'm going to import them into my silhouette library. Now I'm updating the pattern fill on the micro full boxes to match what I just had saved. Now I'm going to start working on die cuts, and I'm going to use Duke and Duchess as my template for the die cuts. But before I start working on the die cuts, I decided to go back and fill in the deco sticker part of my second page. So to do this, I'm opening up all of the clip art elements. I'm going to copy and paste them all onto the first page. Now I'm sizing down the clip art, and then I'm going to start arranging it so that it fits onto this blank section of my second page. Now I'm grouping everything together and moving it off the sheet. I'm going to take a trace of the clip art, and so this is going to create the actual cut lines for the deco stickers. I'm going to align that outline onto the clip art and then move both of them back onto the blank page of the deco sheet. My kit is now fully designed and ready to take screen captures to create the listing photos. closing all of the clip art tabs to keep things simple. I'm reopening the 6 clip art elements that I want to make into die cuts. I copy and paste these all onto the same page, and then I'm going to create a 3 by 3 inch box. I'm going to use this as a way to roughly scale my die cuts so they're all the same size. I'm going to arrange this on the page and then trace the clip art again to make the die cut outline. I'm taking individual screen captures of each individual die cut that I will be using for the listing photos. Now I'm going into PowerPoint, and this is the program that I actually use to make my listing photos. I know that Canva is super popular, but I use PowerPoint a lot in my day job, and so I'm really familiar with it, so that is what I'm going to use. And I'm going to update the fill images to match the screen captures that I took from the Tiana pages. My listing photos are now all done, so now I'm going to actually create the listings on Shopify and Etsy. I'm first updating Shopify, so I'm going to go and use a previous listing and make a copy of that, update the name, and then update the listing photos. Now I'm making the listings in Etsy using the same method. I'll open a previous listing, copy it, update the name, update the tags, and then update the listing photos. And now I have everything listed, and here is just a preview of what this completed kit will look like eventually on Etsy when I go to publish it. Thank you for following along in a design with me. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in my next video.